The NASCAR Winston Cup Series is back here on JRTV for the second race of the 2003 season, and for the final time ever, the Winston Cup Series drivers will take on this 2.69-mile Riverside International Raceway, a road course in California for the Budweiser 400. A lot of history at this racetrack and a lot on the line for these 42 drivers that will start their engines here today, as everyone wants to be known as the last winner here at the Riverside International Raceway. And I'm joined in the booth by a man who's raced here a lot, Trey Bardo. And Trey, just the history of this track and how special it's been to the Winston Cup Series in the past. It's sad to see it go. It's sad to see it close down after this race, but definitely for sure we're going to remember the good memories this racetrack has had, and we'll have to see which driver can prevail for the final ever time here at Riverside.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to win at this track, but now given that it's going to be the last race here, it's going to mean a lot more to these drivers. So, I mean, that only means one thing, Joe, and I think you know what I'm getting at here. The moves are going to be big.
Yeah, the aggressiveness is going to be through the roof here today at Riverside, and it's kind of interesting thinking about what the schedule is like at the beginning of this season. We went from the 2.5-mile high bank superspeedway pack style racing at Daytona, but Trey, now the drivers a week later have to go left and right turn racing at a road course where you're going to be going about 195 miles an hour down the back straightaway, but through places like the S's and some of the tighter corners, you'll be slowing down to below 100 miles an hour at points. So Trey, what is that like as a driver, having to go from one completely different style of racing to a completely different style of racing the next week?
Well, luckily we have practice, so it's not like an immediate change, but yeah, it's definitely, like you said, it's almost like your world gets turned upside down, just because now you have to focus on right turns, you got to focus on hitting the brake, you got to focus on, you know, making sure that you don't have to you know, that you don't make a wrong move, because at a track like this, Joe, if you go off in the gravel anywhere, your race could potentially be done. Where at a place like Daytona, if you make one mistake, there's a good chance you're still going to be in the draft and you're going to get right back up front. So, you know, the mistakes here are going to cost a lot more.
Well, a team that made no mistakes yesterday in qualifying was the two cars on the front row for Petty Enterprises. Roberto Crown Jr., Hunter Reeder starting first and second here today. And, I mean, they kind of came out of nowhere. They weren't all that great in practice, but in qualifying they showed some serious pace play in both cars on the front row. And Trey, I have to think that during the offseason, this kind of speed from this team came from the fact that they downsized from 3 cars to 2 cars, putting more emphasis on those 2 cars, making them both perform better rather than having to spread resources thin over 3 race cars. So Trey, I have to think that those cars going, you know, from 3 cars to 2 cars, it's now benefiting these 2 cars, and it's really showing right here at Riverside.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need any more proof than just looking at the screen right now. I mean, they went from what, midfield teams to, you know, they got the occasional top 10 here and there, maybe a top 5 as well, but now they got, like you said, both cars on the front row. So it'll be fun to see these two duke it out.
Yeah, and hopefully they can try and keep that track position, but to keep it, they're going to have to hold off a man starting in 4th place who is on a hot streak at the start of this 2003 season. That's Evan Hunter for MB2 Motorsports in that number 36 M&M's Pontiac. Think about Daytona. Went out, won his dual race. We said, all right, he might be a contender for the 500. Went out and won the 500, leading the final 2 laps outright without getting touched in the race lead. And now here he is at Riverside, a completely different racetrack, as we mentioned, and he's put that MB2 car in 4th place to start. So Evan Hunter on a hot streak, looking to go back-to-back to start the 2003 season. But also don't count out his teammate Tim Gary. He's a little bit further back in 12th place, but he has a good starting spot as well. So Trey, MB2 at the start of the season really flexing their muscles and showing that maybe they could be some of the championship favorites as the 2003 season plays out.
Well, Joe, when you got the momentum, you might as well ride it as long as you can, right? And that's definitely what they're doing, especially this 36. Like you said, he's in the races he's in, he's undefeated. He's got 2 wins with the races that Hunter's raced in, so we'll have to see if he can make it 3 for 3. And if not, I mean, he's starting in a good spot. As long as he can stay out of trouble and stay consistent, he's going to be looking at another good finish here.
Yeah, could be looking at a good points day. Even if he doesn't win, a good points day could really mean a lot in that quest for the 2003 championship, as this is only the 2nd of 32 races, a lot of time to go, but setting yourself up early could be a massive benefit as we get later into the season. As we take a look at our track facts brought to you by JRTV here at the Riverside International Raceway. It's a 2.69-mile road course. It's a 20-lap race here today. They'll be able to go 11 to 14 laps laps on fuel, so watch for that throughout the race. We've seen in the past cautions have come out here to where maybe it makes it questionable on fuel, or if a caution comes out where they know they can make it on fuel, so we'll have to see how that all plays into it. Also, sometimes we've seen cautions come out late to where they don't finish under the green flag, so drivers might try and play that into their fuel equation as well. It's an 11-turn road course with 6 right-hand turns and 5 left-hand turns, so a very good variety here at Riverside. And as mentioned, it's the final ever race here at the Riverside International Raceway for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, and these 42 drivers that made the show are going to look to perform well here today at Riverside in the Budweiser 400. It's about time to get going. We're going to trackside fire the cars up for the final ever Riverside race right here on JRTV.
Drivers, start your engines!
And 42 cars for the final ever time fire their engines and are rolling off the starting grid here at the Riverside International Raceway for the Budweiser 400. We have a little bit of a longer pace lap, so let's talk about a few drivers, and let's talk about this man starting in 3rd place, number 24 of Justin Seidel. It's been well documented that he's on this long winless drought. It's been 70 races since he won in 2000 in the Southern 500 at the Darlington Raceway. But Trey, a 3rd place start here at a road course. We know how big track position is. He has 2 underfunded or mid-pack cars in front of him to start. Can Justin Seidel finally break that winless drought and get to victory lane here today at Riverside?
Well, we know that there's plenty of opportunities here to make a pass, and Joe, we're going to be coming up to a big one right now. This very, did I say very enough times? Very sharp right-hander. So we've seen a lot of incidences coming out of there. So, I mean, if someone makes a mistake in front of you, you can definitely capitalize on it.
We'll see if Seidel can do that maybe on the first lap with those 2 in front tangle. Just a row behind him is his number 6 at Jordan Stout. He's been very consistent this week, and why do I say that, Trey? Well, he was 6th in practice, qualified 6th in the 6 car. You think he gets 6th here today in the race as well?
Would that be a good thing, or would he be okay with another 6 just to put it on a plaque somewhere saying this was the perfect 6th day, or do you think he might want to go a little bit bigger?
It would only be better if it was June 6th, but unfortunately we're still in February, so that's a little bit away, but we'll see if Jordan Stout can get it done here today at Riverside from that 6th starting spot. And let's go just a few rows back for the final driver to talk about before we take the green flag. Brett Seaver in the 25 won this race back in 2000, his first ever win in the Winston Cup Series. Could possibly try and repeat and get back to victory lane for the first time since 2001 at Pocono.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of him and a lot of his teammates are looking for their first win in a long, long time. So I know he, like you said, he knows how to win here, and I think would love to go back to victory lane here, especially for the last one. So we'll definitely probably see him making some big charge to the front here.
We saw aerial coverage right here provided by Goodyear as we look at Brett Seaver down from the sky. Sarah Kirchner starting right beside him. Kirchner almost won the last race out in Daytona, but fell just short there. They're in the final corner, turn 11. The pace car's going to go down pit lane, and that will leave the field in the hands of Roberto Crown Jr. in the 43. His teammate Hunter Reed right beside him in 2nd. It's a 20-lap race here at Riverside, about to get underway for the final ever time at this 2.69-mile road course right here on JRTV. Petty Enterprise leads us to the green flag for the final time at Riverside. All right, Trey, going through the S's for the first time today, side by side. How tough is it? Because look at all these winding corners, left, right, left, right. It's like a snake going up through. You can see some cars already off in the dirt. Everyone keeping it mostly clean as Roberto Crown Jr. Hunter Reed get away 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, it's not really the best when you're side by side with someone. 3 wide is not going to work 10 times out of 10. So we're looking at 3 wide there. Are we going to figure it out?
Oh, Jay Randall forcing it to the bottom. DeLello in the middle, Thompson up top. They're going to make it work as they come off the corner, but they're still going to stay 3 wide. Thompson gets the grip and gets right back on the gas and trying to pull back alongside as they race down this long back straightaway. It's so long, Trey. These speeds will reach almost 195 miles an hour, especially if you're in the draft. It's a very fast portion of the racetrack for a very slow corner right here, turn 11.
Yeah, you know, only pretty much like Daytona speeds to a not very Daytona corner.
Yeah, and as you can see, coming off the final corner, Roberto Crown Jr. leads the first lap from pole position. Hunter Reed in the 45 keeps second. Seidel in third. Luke Rennie's moved up to fourth, and Jordan Stout up to fifth. It was a bad start for Evan Hunter, who actually got a little bit into the wall in that sharp right-hander. Hunter has fallen from fourth place on the start to now seventh place on the racetrack right in front of Mitchell Collins, and right behind him, Jay Rano in the 97. Chris Jericho right there is back to ninth. DeLello in 10th. As you see off track, Benny Lynn in the 40 in the back has gone off. However, I think he's the only one, maybe Harrison as well in the 11. We stand under the green flag because there was no real accident there. And the battle for third is on. Luke Rennie in the 88. Down to the inside the 24 is Seidel for third place.
He's going to have the line here, but the 24 might have the drive off. If you can get the car underneath him here, you can see him making a move back to the inside now. And the 24 might have the momentum coming off this corner onto the very long straight to clear that 88, but this is going to be a battle you might want to watch because it's going to put you up behind the two teammates there up leading this thing right now. So we'll have to see who can come out on top of this.
That right-hander, excuse me, the left-hander leading off onto this long straightaway that leads into this right-hander right here. See Luke Rennie get aggressive. Seidel picked up the gas really fast trying to clear him. Still hasn't cleared him. They stay side by side for third place, but that left-hander coming out, very interesting one because normally you want to be on the inside. Oh, Collins and Rando. Oh, no!
Wow, he smacked that wall.
He did, and now the caution is out. We have cars.
Oh, Richardson's all the way out in the gravel.
The 91 of Colin Lewis is as well. There were cars everywhere there. You have to wonder if someone got laid down because we saw two cars go off right there.
Yeah, I don't know if... Yeah, that was... who was the original
It was Mitchell Collins right here. Look at that damage.
Oh, yeah, that's very hard. But I don't know if something was laid down or if maybe it was just that fixation thing from the 97 where, you know, if you're, driving a car and you're watching something ahead of you, if it's off the side of the road, you're like automatically going to go towards it. But they definitely smacked that pit road wall there, and it caused all sorts of chaos.
Well, I'll be honest, in all my years of watching a race here at the Riverside International Raceway, I've never seen anything quite like that. And I guess there's a first time for everything. And in the final race, it might as well be the first time for something to happen, as coming off turn 11, Roberto Crown Jr. from pole position leads back to the caution flag, with his teammate Hunter Reed still in second place. Petty Enterprises showing up here today at Riverside, and luckily Colin Lewis got that car out of the gravel and the dirt he was in, because this gravel can really catch cars. We've seen in the past where you get to the gravel after a wreck or something and you cannot move and you're kind of stuck there. Luckily for Colin Lewis, even though he got off to the gravel with full pace, he was still going pretty slow through there, but luckily did get off in that 91 and is back on the track, but currently at the back of the field. Benny Lynn still back here in that 40 after his issues, and trying to look for where Rando rejoined in the 97. They see Richardson, he had went off as well. There's Jay Rando, who also hit the wall in the 97. He's currently back mid-pack now. He was up inside the top 10, now back to 23rd in this number 97 car after those issues right there. Coming off of that first corner as the field has caught up to the pace car at the front of the field, and we have the 43 and the 45 leading the way. We'll go check out what happened to bring out the caution flag here for the first time at Riverside. Hard contact with the pit road wall off turn number 1 here in the Budweiser 400. Well, here's where this all starts. Mitchell Collins in number 12, and Trey, I have to think right here that Collins just misses the bottom, misses the apex of turn 1, goes really wide because of it, and he gets into the pit wall right here. He hits it pretty flush. Jay Randall gets wide and hits it right where it ends, so it spins the 97 around, and then watch all of the reaction from behind. Look at DeLello.
Oh!
He got into Brett Sierra, kind of buckles the
hood. I was
gonna
say, I think there's a little bit of hood damage. The 30 almost clobbled their wall back. You can see the 15s all sorts of out of whack. And then watch this 91. I don't know if him... I was going to say, I wonder if they lost traction maybe when they were trying to avoid and throttle up at the same time.
I don't know, but I mean, you don't... And look at back there, Nathan Baird getting sideways. You don't expect a crash at that portion of the racetrack. So you have to think that the spires were yelling, "Oh my!" Like there's a crash, check up, or whatever. It just kind of.
I mean, it's almost a blind corner too, if you think about it. You don't really see much on the exit or coming up to the exit of it. So, and then add on the dust and all that stuff there. I mean, stuff can go bad very quickly.
Yeah, and it's a very fast portion of the racetrack as well, fast corner. So if you go around it, you could easily hit something very hard if you do not know it is there. We'll go take a look at this wreck from a few more angles right here at Riverside. As we look at another angle, Trey, you actually knows something with the 97, so we saw Collins miss the bottom right there. What happened with Jay Randall right there that you think caused him to go wide?
I don't think he knew the 36 was there, and he started to arc the corner as if he was by himself, and then his spotter probably warned him last second, or maybe there was even contact being involved that pushed that 97 wide, which caused him to hit the wall. So, Joe, that's just another instance of this type of, a road course racing, is that there's going to be cars in different areas where you're not going to expect it, and it could alter your line. If you alter your line that little bit, it's going to put you into a wall or gravel or worse out of this race.
The interesting fact of this is that Randall spun, but I think he actually didn't really get that much damage in that 97. He's back going and back passing cars on the race back to the caution flag. We'll take a look at this from one more angle from the hood of last season's champion Mathis Wells, who was in the middle of all of this and saw everything unfold right around him from the driver's seat. So here's the view from the hood of the Home Depot Chevrolet for Joe Gibbs Racing of Mathis Wells. And Trey, right here, the cautions are, you can see the smoke. You can see Justin Atkins getting a little bit wide. But right here, as we come up here, some cars are going off in the dirt. And look at this visibility. You can't see the 67 in front of him.
I didn't even know the 67 was there, Joe. I'll be honest. And you want to see it get worse? You don't even know where the track's coming back up at. No. And then you're finally going to get back on. But, yeah, I mean, that's one thing that makes gravel so dangerous, is that one car goes off, you lose visibility for anyone else behind you there, and if you're not careful getting back onto the track, it could result in something big.
Well, it's a winding racetrack here at Riverside, and you can see the winding S's as they come up through there, as the leader is still Roberto Crown Jr. in the 43 under the first caution flag here in the Budweiser 400. Back here on JRTV, pit stops underway for the leaders. So Trey, what's the strategy here? Do you think if you're back in the field, do you stay out for the track position, or is everyone going to come down? And you've only run about 4 laps under the green flag. Do you only take 2 tires? Do you take 4 tires trying to set up for maybe a shorter pit stop later? Because you cannot make it on fuel to the end. But if you take 4 tires now, you might only have to take a splash of fuel at the end of this race.
I would think if I'm one of the if I'm one of these front guys here, if I feel like my car's fast enough, I'm taking 4 and just getting a splash of fuel at the end of this thing, right? If I think I can make it. But
2 tires
coming out here. It's going to be... Oh, well, look who's out front again, Joe.
Evan Hunter. Oh!
Ooh!
Roberto Crown Jr. came out pit road, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. was there. And the 2 now has right front damage.
Well, we're going to hear about that pretty soon, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, it's already a very narrow pit road to begin with, and then add altering strategies on pit road with everyone on it. It's just going to be a byproduct of this type of situation here. So I bet you there's more than just that contact on pit road, but that was a pretty big hit there. So we're going to have to see how that 2 is going to handle after that.
Well, it's not a good day to have a beer sponsor, because
does the 8 have?
Yeah, the 8 has the same right front damage that the 2 car has. And I think I saw the 7 back in here. Baby Ruiz as well has some right front damage. So there was obviously some, as you mentioned, very tight pit road. It's very hard to get through there, even just single file.
Oh, no.
Conrad Evans have issues in the 31.
Yeah, he's very slow. I don't know if maybe something happened and he leapfrog cars when he shouldn't have. It looks like he's going back up to speed.
Yeah, so either he has...
Oh, my goodness.
Left side damage. So you have to wonder if he got involved in something. He's kind of offline right here. I don't know if he's trying to get spots back. We're going green this time. So whatever he's doing, he's going to have to figure it out, because
make it quick. That is very. Is that going to affect the car any? You think? I mean, it's on a road course, so it's not like aerodynamics really helps in a lot of situations. But to that point, I mean, that could be rubbing a tire or something worse.
It could be. And I was going to say maybe he's pulling up because he wants to pit, but he's on the wrong side to pit. Oh, maybe he's mad with Jay Rando here.
Oh, it looks like he's a little angry. I don't know if it was the incident that causes damage or something else, but that's a lot of damage for it to be a pit road incident, you'd think, right?
It is. So let's go back up to the front, because there was some differing strategy at the front of the field. We have 2 tires on Evan Hunter, Chris Jericho, Brett Sierra, Sarah Kirchner, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. First car on 4 tires is Roberto Crown Jr. He's lost a few positions. We'll have to see if that contact affected his car any, like it might to the number 2 of Fitzwater. The pace car is back into pit road. Hunter's going to lead us back to the green flag in the 36. We're back going, and look at the jump for Chris Jericho on the 18 to the inside for the lead.
You think he was planning that one for a while?
I think he laid back. He knew what he was going to do, but now they're side by side to the S's. Can they sort it out? Hunter with a big run.
Oh, he's off. Got to be careful here. You don't want to contact. It could ruin your race real quick.
Hard racing up through the S's.
My goodness.
The 2 and the 43, they're still making contact. It's not on pit road anymore. Now it's on the racetrack at over 100 miles an hour. Roger Crown Jr. trying to get his spots back. Now he's losing ground, the 43 on the outside. And to second place goes Brett Sear on the 25.
I think restarts are pretty hectic here, huh?
Yes, they are. And look at Fitzwater. Even with that damage, it's not hurting him. Going to 4th place.
Oh, the 24 round.
Justin Zeidel and Justin Atkins.
The 30.
Oh. We stay
I
green.
caught that at the very back. I don't know. I mean, there must have been contact, but I couldn't tell who was with. I just saw the side of the 24, and normally when you see the side of a car, Joe, it's not a good thing.
We'll see if our replay guys can pull up something and show it to you while we look at this live action as well. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. moving through by Sarah Kirchner to 4th place for the lead. Sierra's all over Evan Hunter, 36 and 25, going at it into turn 1. Look at this hard-nosed racing for the lead.
To say there might have been a little help getting that 36 through the corner there.
Whoa.
But, oh, you can tell they're pushing their cars right now, Joe.
And now Jericho, being a little bit smoother, is gaining right back onto those front 2 and wants that battle between he and Sierra to continue on. I think back there, Strickland went a little line the 48, and he lost some ground. Up at the front, Hunter goes wide. Sierra goes wide. Jericho's lower. Fitzwater's in the wall.
Ooh,
Sarah
more
Kirchner's in it. The
contact.
43's in the wall. He's back with his teammate Hunter Reed. Here comes Dolan Lawrence. All over the place. And for the lead, we have 3 cars under a blanket.
With how they're racing right now, Joe, they might need to pit again for contact repairs because these guys are pushing their cars to the absolute limit. I mean, these 3 are putting on a show right now.
Yes, they are. I think they know it's the final race here at Riverside. These fans, it might be the final race they can attend for a while unless we get some other racetrack in this area, or maybe they go to the California Speedway, which is a little bit further away. But I think these 3 drivers know, hey, let's put on a show for these fans for the final time here at Riverside, and these 3 are going at it. Hunter, Sierra, Jericho, 3 different lines through turn 11, and they all come together oh so close off turn 11.
Oh, so these 3 are all in the same strategy, correct?
Yeah, all with 2 tires on their cars rather than the 4 tires. But really, the front 6 are all on this 2-tire strategy.
So that makes you wonder if they're going to use up their stuff and allow those guys with the 4 tires to, you know, maybe just pace themselves for now and catch up later. But, I mean, you can't say they're not really pushing. I mean, look at this stuff. The other 3 caught right back.
Yeah, here comes Kirchner, here comes Fitzwater, here comes Riley Spurley too. Jericho had made the pass, but now he goes wide, and Sierra's back to the inside for 2nd place.
I don't know who you favor here. The guy out in front?
I guess so. If you're Evan Hunter, you're like, all right, now I can finally breathe a little bit and try and get away. Sierra's back through to 2nd. Jericho's going to get the run off and move back through to 3rd place. Kirchner's going to keep 4th. Fitzwater's in 5th. Then you have Riley Spruce up to 6th for that number 28. Roberto Crown Jr. is now in 7th. Lawrence is up to 8th. Stout is now 9th. Tim Gary's 10th. Hunter Reed's lost ground and back to 12th place he goes. Here's the battle for 5th. I think Fitzwater, he had more damage. He hit the wall in that one heavy right-hander, so he has damage on basically every end of that car, so he's maybe fallen on that long straightaway, and Spurtop easily flew by him in that number 28 for 5th spot.
This is, can we settle out and out? Nope, never mind. Oh, he pushed him out all the way to the wall.
And we had more cars on pit road with damage back there. I think I saw the 8, the 11, but right here, again, they're going to go side by side into the S's, but once again, Sierra's in the unpreferred lane. Jericho, once again, will look to the inside. They're all stacked up behind the number 36 of Evan Hunter.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to dip your wheels in that gravel. It's going to upset the car a lot. So Sierra did a nice job of not doing that, but it compromised his position. But it's a small loss for a big gain, as in you can continue this race.
And here he goes for the lead. Hunter got wide. He got a little bit of a tap into the wall. Sierra's down to the inside of the 25, going for the race lead. Can he complete it this time, or can Hunter get the drive off? He's in the inside lane. They're going to be door to door, and Jericho's going to get a massive draft down this very long straightaway.
I was going to say, if you're Jericho and you get this run before this last corner, where do you take it? Do you go inside? Do you go outside? Do you try to split the middle, or do you help one guy or the other? Well, now you don't got to worry about that.
Yeah, now you're going to try and pass Evan Hunter because Sierra's clear. He's out in front. The 2000 winner is back to the lead. Here's the battle for second place. Jericho to the inside of Evan Hunter.
Wow.
He breezes by him in the 18. So now Jericho and Sierra, just like 2000 in this race, they battled for the win. Here they are battling for the win in the 2003 race.
There's even more cars on pit road. I think I saw the 48 on there as well, but we we're more focused on seeing if these guys end up dumping each other for this win, or if we're gonna have one of the most legendary finishes at this racetrack happen.
I mean, look at them slithering their way through the S's as Sierra and Jericho climb the hill. Sierra goes wider.
Sierra wide. Oh, so's the 33.
To the inside, Kirchner's in the wall. Crown is by and Fitzwater's by. And by for the lead goes Chris Jericho on the 18.
I don't understand how these guys are getting through this without contact.
It's quite the show here at Riverside. Jericho back to the lead, but now he gives Sierra this draft down this long straightaway. You can see Sierra tucked right back in behind as they race. Look how it's just eternal, this straightaway. You just keep going and going and going, and Sierra's going to pull out to the right for the lead again.
He's going to absolutely dive bomb Jericho here. Is he going to be able to make it work, though? He's on the inside. He's going to let go a little bit, maybe push him up some, too. And he's going to get it coming off the corner exit.
Oh, Jericho trying to get right back in behind him. This is great stuff. Jay Randall's now up here on the 97. He has a lot of damage. Stuff still happening, but we stay under the green flag. These drivers may be able to get it back rolling and get it back to pit road as Sierra and Jericho continue to fight with Hunter and Spurley Tubin and Roberto Crown Jr. waiting right behind them. This is some great stuff here in the Budweiser 400 at Riverside.
Is Sierra going to go wide again? He's been struggling. He's going to go wide yet again. He's really struggling with that right-hander right there, and he's going to compromise his position again, and Jericho's on the inside once more.
And he's going to have the preferred lane, and this time might actually clear him by a little bit more because he got a great run. Jericho back to the lead, but once again, Sierra fighting back. They're going to stay side by side down this very long straightaway. And as this great battle continues, let's get to our Gatorade audience analysis for this race. Last week at Daytona, we'd asked what move or what's the biggest storyline heading into the season. Unsurprisingly, it was JGR looking for three championships in a row that won that with 57%. The other three options tied at 14%. But now this week at Riverside, it's the final ever race for the Winston Cup Series right here at Riverside. The Budweiser 400's Jericho will lead that lap in the 18. Sierra's still fighting back to the inside. This is some absolutely outstanding stuff here at Riverside.
I'll be honest, I thought he was going to hit that wall, Joe.
Yeah, but I think he had it under control right there. And I think the difference was that he meant to be up there rather than the 12 who kind of slid up there and the 97 who slid as well. But we're seeing this great battling here today at Riverside for all these positions at the front of the field. But as of late, as of these JRTV Riverside races, what was the most memorable Riverside moment? Was it the Sierra and Jericho battle from 2000 where they trade the lead numerous times, kind of like what we're seeing today with Sierra ending up on top? Was it the Walker Davis and Keegan Thompson beef that we saw in the 2001 race where Thompson wrecked Davis, and Davis went right back out and wrecked Keegan Thompson? Was it Jordan Edwards winning Evernham's first ever race in the Winston Cup Series under some strategy call? Or was it last season, Conrad Evans breaking that winless drought and finally winning again in the Winston Cup Series? That's the choices. We'll have to see what the fans deem the most memorable Riverside moment as of late was in the Winston Cup Series.
Can I say it's the present-day Sierra versus Jericho battle?
Yeah, if we knew this was going to be happening, then we would have included it. But it's impossible to know. And right here, this stuff is still ongoing for third place. Sierra has gotten a little bit away from Chris Jericho. This battle for third, though, still ongoing. Riley's Bruton trying to get by Evan Hunter. I think the 36 not as strong as some of these cars around him, and it's showing. He's really struggling right here through the S's, and he's kind of holding these guys up, allowing those front two to really get away, and Spruill finally gets the drive to get by, and Roberto Crown Jr. going to be the next one to try and get through this 36.
So remember, this 43 has 4 tires on him, so they might be, well, not now, but he was slowly making his way through this, so they might be starting to, you know, put him on top of some of these guys who took 2 tires, but the problem is that he just cannot get past these guys.
The big thing for him is going to be getting himself close enough to these race leaders who took 2 tires, because taking 2 there, as you can see Eli Bright ahead, they repaired that 8 car, gotten back out, but he's multiple laps down. In fact, he's now 3 laps down. He, Harrison, and Max Davis are all 3 down. Rando is 2 down. Strickland 1 lap down in the 48. But those drivers that had taken those 2 tires on that pit stop, Sierra and Jericho, Spurley Tube and Hunter, they're all going to have to probably not only pit sooner. You see Evan Hunter now coming down pit road, so I don't know. This is obviously some strategy play to maybe get down, and maybe he's going to take 4 tires this time. I was going to lead that in to say, if he took 2 tires there, you're either going to take 2 again, or you're going to take 4 tires on this last pit stop. If you take 4, you obviously go on pit sooner, whereas the guy who took 4 tires early on probably just going to take a splash of fuel, if not 2 tires, on this final pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen an undercut work, but it really depends on how long he's going to take on pit road compared to everyone else, as we have plenty of other drivers also coming down.
Yeah, Matt as well as Keyshawn Richardson as well. You can see Stout back there, Conrad Evans, and all these other cars who are obviously involved in some major incidents.
Oh my goodness, that 97 has a lot of damage on it.
Yeah, so obviously there was a lot happening, and I'm sure that the replay booth has been pulling these up, trying to get some.
They're busy right
shots.
now, Joe. They're really busy.
Yeah, so still out front, we have Ciro Jericho and Riley Spurgeon with the first 3, but remember, they're on 2 tires. Roberto Crown Jr., the first car, on 4 tires in that 43. We'll have to see when these leaders deem it's time to come down pit road. Will they continue to stay out, pray for a yellow to come out? In fact, a yellow would actually hurt them because some guys have already pitted. Right here, it looks like the front 2 will now come down. So will Riley Spurgeon, but Roberto Crown Jr. started on pole. Here he is with his teammate Hunter Reed, staying out a little bit longer. With those 4 tires, they can do it. They took more fuel.
Just say now his main plan is to put as much of a gap as he can on everyone else. Same with his teammate here in the 45. Put as much of a gap as you can on anyone else behind you who you know was up front battling with you guys. So when you come down to pit road, hopefully all they have to do is just take a splash of fuel to get them to the end of this thing, and they can still be out front.
A lot of cars that are on that strategy right there. You see the 18, the 25, they're taking 4 tires. So that's a big call right there to take 4 tires. They're going to leave side by side. Oh, they're going to hit.
No.
Luckily, I
think they finally made contact, Joe, but it wasn't on the racing surface.
I do think they got away with it a little bit right there. Don't see much damage. They're going to leave first and second. Here comes Hunter. He tried to get by Evans, who's damaged in the 31. So that kind of slowed Evan Hunter up. He had to fight by a damaged lap car and probably cost him some time. So Ciro leaves in front of Chris Jericho, but they took 4 tires. These guys that had taken 4 on the previous stop, like Crown Jr., Reed, Oskin, Rainey, Collins, and all these guys who took 4 tires, they can maybe just take 2 tires in this one and leapfrog them. It's going to be interesting because they're going to stay out again. Back to 5 to go. The 43 still out front and still leading, and we'll have to see what that strategy call is going to be. Oskin's going to come in this time in the 81.
So well, maybe we can see what his team's going to do. We can kind of take an educated guess at what everyone else is going to do. You can also see this. Who is that? The
17.
Okay, that's the 17. I could not tell from this point of view.
It's a different sponsor on the hood. That's Smirnoff.
All right, that's why it threw me off then. So, all right, so looks like left side's first, and then they're going to drop the car
17
down.
You can see back there, he's already leaving. The 81.
They're taking a long time on this left side.
He's going to leave.
Good.
Yep. So he took 2. Unfortunately, though, he took longer on pit road. But you have to think, he took that long. He's going to come out probably inside the top 10. Those front 2 that had a gap on them, if they just do a normal 2-tire stop, they could easily come out in front of the 25 and the 18. But they're probably going to have a little bit worse tires.
Yeah. So if I don't know the lap difference between, you know, say the 25 right now compared to the 43 and the 45, but if these 2 right here that we're looking at are catching the leaders, then these guys might want to think about Britton's. Yeah, well, here they come.
So here comes the 43. Hunter
Reed. Here comes the 1.
He's going to stay out. So Hunter Reed's going to lead the lap right there. 5 points. Maybe that was planned. 43
going to say maybe a little team play there.
Yeah, so Hunter Reed's going to lead that lap. 5 bonus points towards the championship. I like this angle. You can see the cars in the background that are already pitted, making their way down that long straightaway. Roberto Crown Jr. on pit road, kind of limping down that pit road speed. There you saw Ciro and Jericho fly by right there at full speed.
So we're going to go right to the right sides. Oh, look at that. That was a pretty fast stop.
And maybe they did right sides because they didn't want to go around the car. Just right sides and go.
Oh, there's plenty of space between him and that 25 and the 18.
Yep, so here they Is
it
going to be enough,
it's a lot closer than I thought.
Is it going to be enough? They have 4 tires. He has 2 tires. How much have the left sides worn on this 43 car? Can Sierra and Jericho run him down? The pole sitter with some strategy is back out in front. Now all eyes are on his teammate, Hunter Reed, who has still stayed out on the racetrack. Still yet to make that final pit stop. Probably will this time, though, coming around to 3 laps to go.
I think how much did he gain or lose by staying out an extra lap? He's going to be coming in this time.
Would he just do fuel only here because he only has 3 laps to go?
Oh, I love pit strategy, but it keeps you guessing, Joe.
It does, and that's the fun of it.
You would think just fuel would be enough. I don't know how much degradation there is on these tires to if it's going to hinder him enough to last these last 3 laps.
Well, Hunter Reed is coming down. We'll have to see what that team does. He has the second pit stall on pit road. His teammate took 2 right side tires. He's also going to go with the right side tires and probably get down and away. Where does he come out in relation to his teammate and the 25 and the 18? He's down and away. Where's his teammate, Roberto Crown Jr.? There he goes.
Here he is.
He's by. Sierra and Jericho are by. They closed in as we now only have 2 laps to go this time by.
So it definitely gained the 45 spots before this whole pit cycle started. I mean, granted, he's back in the 4th now, but maybe with how much the 25 and the 18 have been racing each other and using up their tires, he might be able to catch them before the end of this thing. But, tear into the wall and it slowed them both up.
Yeah, so they were gaining so much now. Jericho's off. I don't know what happened on that 18, but he went off. He's slower now. The 45's caught him, but they had been getting so much time on the 43 and saying, I think it's a chip in that the 25 is going to win this race, but now that he hit the wall and the 18 slowed up, I think Jericho might be out of it unless the 43 holds up the 25 because Sierra is really gaining coming back to 2 laps to go.
Well, we know Sierra struggled in that corner all race long, constantly going wide, right? And, I mean, there it is once again, but this time it hurt the 18. Normally, Jericho was able to capitalize on it, but, actually, Sierra didn't really lose that much time. I mean, he's still in the back of this 43.
But that 25 is so good down that long straightaway. That Hendrick horsepower is really showing up today. We have now 2 laps to go. Roberto Crown Jr. from pole. You may say, the pole's here to winning again on a road course, but it was anything but straightforward for Crown here today, where he took 4 tires on the first pit stop, went a little bit further back, wasn't able to gain the position, but now this pit strategy taking 2 tires late has catapulted them back up to the front. Hunter Reed on the 2 tires is struggling. The 36 and the 28 are gaining back. Here we go to the right-hander again. Crown goes wide this time. He's going to hit the wall a little bit. Sierra has a run to the inside. He goes for the lead, coming back to the white flag.
Now, if Sierra can clear this 43 going onto the straight, he's going to put a major gap on top of that 43, but
he didn't.
He's not going to get it, and the 43 got a little bit of a run, so we'll have to see what the difference is by the time we get down to the bottom of the straight.
But the horsepower out of that 25, I think, is going to clear him midway down the backstretch. Brett Sierra, who won here in 2000, now leads again at Riverside, coming back to the white flag. But Roberto Crown Jr. staying close enough. If the 25 makes a bobble, he will be right there. Sierra a little bit wider in turn 11, but the fresh tires are going to help him get the drive off turn 11. Back around to the white flag. It's the final lap at Riverside. Sierra, Crown Jr., and Jericho for the race lead and the win.
This 43's got to hope that he can close up somewhat in these S's. And then yet again, if Sierra runs wide in that tight right-hander, how much is it going to close up, and is it going to hurt him at all?
Well, here we go. We have 3 cars for the race win. Sierra, who won here in 2000, he hasn't won since 2001 at Pocono. He's back after injury at the end of last season. Is today the day to get back to victory lane for the 25? He gets through the corner well. Crown does not. Jericho's going to look for second place here in the final lap, but it's all behind Brett Sierra, who enters into this right-hander for the final time in control of the race. Jericho, just like it was in 2000, going to try and finish second to Brett Sierra as Crown tries to fight back, but can't get back beside the 18 as they come down the back straightaway for the final time. He started his career right here in 2000, winning at Riverside, and how fitting would it be if he could try and be the final ever winner here at Riverside. One more corner for Brett Sierra to negotiate in this number 25. Through turn 11, the strategy worked out. 2 tires early, 4 tires late. Brett Sierra wins the final ever race here at Riverside.
What a race this was.
That was that was one of the best Riverside races I think we've ever seen.
Oh, look how close all these guys in the middle of the pack are, too.
This is where a lot of the 2 and 4 tire guys, they came up right with each other, and you can see how it all plays out. Look at all these guys still fighting to the checker flag. Everyone, every spot they can get. Look at that drag race between the 5 and the 99. But it's
They're still coming, Joe.
I cannot. I can't believe this.
This is crazy.
But
now we can calm down, right?
Yeah. Who better to do it than Brett Sierra in the 25, who, once again, as mentioned, kick-started his career with a win here in 2000. And now he wins the final ever one here in 2003. That is just, and he's back on top. It's been so long, almost 2 full seasons since Sierra has found victory lane. 2002 was such a dismal season. Not only did he get injured, but before that, his season was, one top 5 and very few top 10s. And already this season, he's, I think he's bettered what he did last season.
Oh, no, I don't think you can even argue that. I mean, this guy, this whole team, this 25 team, Joe, when they get momentum, get a win or top 5 or something, and they start to heat up, they're going to become dangerous.
He's taking a victory lap. He said, "I
you might as well, right? It's been a while since he got the chance to take one, so you might as well take it for what it's worth."
I think he's saying, even though I crossed the line first, I want to be the last guy to complete a lap here at Riverside. So he's going around again. Well, Tim Gary's going around again.
Oh,
too.
Well, Tim Gary, he's the type of guy.
Maybe NASCAR told these drivers.
He raced for the 25, so
yeah.
It was. But yeah, what a race that was.
Yeah, what a way to end out the Winston Cup Series right here at Riverside. It was such a great race that we saw here today with Brett Sierra on top. And you know what, Trey? I have to wonder, if he doesn't hit that wall right there where it slowed up Jericho massively, imagine this battle for the win between Roberto Crown Jr., Brett Sierra, and Chris Jericho, and how Jericho and Sierra would have been oh so close on that final lap.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, that would have been, I don't know if that would have been a good thing or a bad thing to watch, because it would have depended on how aggressive those guys got with each other.
It could have been good for Roberto Crown Jr. He could have maybe stuck out a win if those two had made contact, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that. Jericho got slowed up by the 25 hitting the wall, and it ended up with Brett Sierra on top. All that differing pit strategy, it all came together right at the end with Sierra on top of the 25. Chris Jericho ends up in second place, so the two championship rivals from the 2001 season end up with the first and second here today. While it wasn't the win Roberto Crown Jr. wanted, still a very impressive third place result for that number 43 Petty Enterprises team, and that's a lot of momentum heading into the rest of the season. Riley Spiritude with the 4th place. That's a team that we have to watch out for throughout this season. And the top 5 once again for Evan Hunter, won at Daytona in both his duel and the 500. Now he ends up with a top 5 here today in that number 36. Hunter Reed from the front row led a lap or 2 here today. He gets the 6th place, so once again, Petty Enterprises 2 solid runs here today. Nolan Lawrence from about 15th starting spot, he ends up with 7th. Ryan Wilson was outside the top 15 at the start. He ends up in 8th. Matt as well started mid-pack, but that strategy worked out for him with the top 10 in 9th. And how about Samed Osgood for Fitz Bradshaw Racing? Gets a top 10, that number 81. His strategy worked out. Jude Martinelli ends up with an 11th for Jasper Motorsports. Jacob Miller for CLR Racing in 12th place. These are drivers we would have focused on if not for the fact the battle for the win at the front of the field was so good throughout the race. Some more underdogs back here. Matt Tuck ends up with the top 20 and 16th. How about Ali Liera, her first ever start in the Winston Cup Series, ends up with a top 20 and 18th. Matthew Burnett started way back in the field, 41st place, top 20 for the number 17. Down here, some drivers that start well like Zidell, but he faded at the end. How about Benny Lynn was off track at the beginning of the race, 23rd for him. Bibi Ruiz failed inspection after qualifying, started 42nd. He gets 26th. And all the way down, you see Zachary DeLello didn't have the best of the second half of the race. Neither Justin Atkins, Fitzwater, Thompson, Richardson, Jordan Stout as well. Tyler Belladonna finished 1 lap down the 77. Conrad Evans as well, along with Lathan Strickland. And then Rando was 2 down, Harrison 3 down, Davis 3 down, Eli Bright as well was 3 laps down, but no cars DNF'd here today in the Budweiser 400 at Riverside. As we go take a look at the point standings following this race, Evan Hunter back-to-back top 5 finishes keeps him on top, but some other drivers now starting to gain and try and close in that number 36, who has been so stout to start the season, but still 30 races remain, Trey. And if they're anything like what we saw here today, we are in for one real treat in this 2003 season. What a race here at Riverside, Trey. Final thoughts on the final race from Riverside.
Oh, man. I mean, watching a race like this, it kind of makes me sad that we're leaving. But, I mean, at the same time, I'm also like, what a way to end it on.
Yeah, that was... If this had to be the final race, I'm glad it was, because it was entertaining from green flag to checkered flag. We only saw that one caution flag, no cautions late that maybe ruined the ending or, you know, set up some just bad scenarios for drivers who were maybe caught out by an untimely yellow. It all worked out with different strategies and great racing all throughout, and it ends up with Brett Sierra on top. He'll be known as the only driver in this field as a two-time Riverside winner, won here once again in 2000, now wins here in the 2003 season. Congratulations to he and the 25 team on an outstanding victory here at Riverside. And join us on JRTV next Sunday for another California race, staying out here on the West Coast in California as we go racing at the California Speedway for the Auto Club 500. So Trey, back to that 2-mile racing where we're going to see some fast speeds and some very close racing there. And I mean, with these first two races, how great they were, I'm sure Fontana, California, that's going to be another very, very fun race.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I know these drivers won't let us down.
No, they will not. And if it's anything like today, we're in for a treat. Congratulations once again to Brett Sierra. For Trey Bardo and Joe Rukowski, so long for the final ever time from Riverside right here on JRTV.